All right. I want to welcome everyone to another episode of this study series, which has to do with mastering Microsoft Fabric from data to insight. And of course, this is the second episode. The first episode was aired last week, and this is the second one. And under this second episode, we shall be looking at understanding the Lakehouse Data Architecture Model in Microsoft Fabric. My name is Popoola Isiaka Olamilekan. I am Microsoft certified trainer with specialization on data, artificial intelligence, and automation. And of course, today is 6th of September 2025. I want to welcome you on board. All right, so what do I have for you today? This is the presentational outline. We shall be looking into what is a lake house, why the lake house, because somebody may be interested. What is lake house? Why do we need it? We shall be answering that question in the course of this training today. We shall also be looking at core features of lake house in Fabric. We'll be looking at lake house architecture in Fabric, of course, real world use cases of Lakehouse, and of course, there will be demos and there will be opportunity for question and answer. I have designed this series in such a way that newbies, people that are not well versed about terminologies within technology space, on people that are not well versed within data space, on people that are not well versed within so many cloud issues, that I should be able to break down the core concept of each. That's why I'm not taking so much rush to approach this learning series. I'm taking it from a mentor that, oh, I assume somebody doesn't know what is a lake house. How do I explain lake house to a layman person or to a newbie? That is the model for delivering this all important learning series, of course, free of charge. Um, I am very sure that at the end of this training, you will get value for your time and for whatever sacrifice that you have made to be part of this training. Once again, I want to welcome you on board. This is a little bit about where I am, about my area of specialization, which is the cloud technologies. I do more of data and artificial intelligence platform, and I also look for how we can automate so many operations that we do within data space. Gone are those days that people look for analytics, people look for data engineering within what happened in the past. But as at the moment, there are a lot of technologies that are coming on board and people want to see as they are happening. That's what we call streaming data. That's what we call streaming data, which is an opportunity that we are capturing a series of data as they are happening, and we are also doing the analytics as the case may be. So I do more of data and AI platform with additional of automation of business process. I also get involved in designing and review of exam questions. I take part in corporate information technology technical training sections. I also take part in tech-based community development, where we mentor young people on newbies into tech space. It's also a platform that we use to encourage professionals in terms of new development within the field, where we share a lot of um, a lot of thoughts as regards how best we can solve the problem or challenges of our various clients. So I have a little bit about certifications. I also have my LinkedIn content, which you can reach out to me at the end of this training. All right. Yes, in episode one, we'll look at introduction into Microsoft Fabric, how Microsoft Fabric has been a unified platform for data professionals. From that perspective, I took us through different data roles. Like we have data engineers, we have database administrators, we have data scientists, and we have a lot of specializations within data space. And different data professionals, they were working in silos. until there was a time that Microsoft looked inward. Okay, I say, is it better? It's not better to bring all data professionals together, because data engineers were doing their own things, data scientists were doing their own things. So there was no synergy, and that's why the issue of Fabric came on board. That okay, Fabric should be a unified platform where all data professionals they can come together in order to reduce workload, in order to reduce cost involved in the enterprise level solutions development, data solution development, and also possibility of integration with so many data professionals. So and we also look at transitions within data analytics world. Gone are those days that we used to have Excel only as analytics tool, until when some other analytic tools came on board, and we are seeing how data analytics is involved by a good period of time. So we also look at differences, different in Microsoft Fabric, where we look at the issues of data warehouse, the issues of data science, the issue of data engineering, the issue of database administration, and different workloads that we have within the Fabric environment. Of course, we also look at why Microsoft Fabric has been a game changer, because as of today, one platform that has been able to unify all data professionals is Fabric, Microsoft Fabric. And that has been a game changer for data professionals to collaborate together on a lot of different projects that they are doing. Of course, we did a demo. In that demo, we look at the how we can have access to Fabric environment. What is the environment look like? What are the basic operations that we can do? And those are the things that we look at in the first episode. So in this episode, we are going more deeper. Each episode will be looking at critical area of Fabric and how best we can digest it to a very layman or a newbie within Fabric workspace. All right, so let us move ahead to today's episode. The question is, we are looking at Lakehouse today. Somebody may be interested to know, Popoola, please, what is Lakehouse? What does it do? Now, I have this answer to reply us in case we have that question. A Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse is a unified data architecture that combines the capabilities of a data lake with the features of data warehouse. Now, the idea is that we have a product that its name is what? A lake house, right? We have a product that its name is a lake house. With that said, okay, that lake house has two capabilities, or it combines the functionalities of two things together, which are what? The functionality of a data lake house and the functionality of what? The features of data warehouse. So somebody that is also a layman, we also ask, Popular, you have mentioned about Lakehouse. I've heard you. You have also mentioned some terminologies again. What is a data lakehouse? What is a data warehouse? Now, when you look at a lake, maybe if you studied engineering, or you study geography, or you are looking from water resources perspective, when you hear about a lake is what? It's just a reservoir of different streams. People coming from different streams, and they are being stored, and that's the concept that is also being used within water resources, maybe like a dam. So a dam that is for water supply to for household, for industrial usage, it has to be damped. And why it is being damped is because we want water to come from different sources and being kept at a location which will allow us to process the water for consumption, maybe for human consumption, or for industrial consumption, or for any other kinds of data usage. So that is a data lake. But a data warehouse, let us look at the concept of warehouse within an environment of marketing, right? When you're talking about a warehouse, A warehouse is usually a kind of a storage environment where large quantity of goods are being what are being kept. For instance, now if I'm an importer of cars, um, it is likely that I want to buy 100 cars at a time as a car dealer, right? Um, there's every possibility that I cannot sell all the 100 cars at a time, right? That means I have to have a storage where I keep all those cars until they are available for sales. Or if I so wish, maybe I have dealers across the country that I want to send. Maybe okay, these cars have arrived. Okay, go and sell 5 cars. Go and sell 10 cars. Go and sell 20 cars. Go and sell 5 cars. So I can be at that level. I'm a distributor, right? So a warehouse within the marketing environment is where we keep large quantity of what? Large quantity of materials for later distribution, as the case may be. So that's also the concept within data technology, right? Within data space, that okay, we have different data coming from different sources, and we are also keeping them in an environment until they are ready for what? Until they are ready for use, right? So those are the two differences, or that is the difference between a data lake and a data warehouse. In terms of data warehouse, we have large quantities of what? Large quantities of data, which we can call maybe big data as a terminology, that are being housed somewhere, right? We also have a data lake that, okay, in a lake, it can be streams, right? Like a river that I give you illustration the other time. It can be small rivers that are coming together that are being uh, kept in a lake. But in terms of warehouse, we are talking about uh, bigger capacity in term of data. And now, what are their particular capabilities? In terms of data lake, this capability includes flexible storage for structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So we have different data formats. We have different data storage format. We have what we call structured data storage format. We have semi-structured data storage format, and we have unstructured data storage format. What is the difference between them? The difference between them is that in terms of structured, it means that we arrange our data set in rows and columns. Whereby in terms of semi-structures, we have a data set that has characteristics of being arranged in rows and columns, and sometimes it also has characteristics of being unstructured. Unstructured mean what? Data that are not arranged in rows and column. For instance, now, if you are talking about programming language, we can write our codes in programming language. For instance, now, if we want to define our variables, we can say, okay, this variable A will contain this, and these are the things. For instance, we can say variable A is name, so that's the variable declaration. Variable A is name. Variable B is what? Gender. Variable C is maybe state of origin, right? We are making a declaration that can be arranged later, rows and column. Then we are using programming language to achieve that. Like a JSON file. That's an example of semi-structured. And we have unstructured. Unstructured data is a type of data that is not arranged in rows, what? In rows and column. Example of unstructured data, maybe our video clip. We can extract so many data from a video clip, on audio clip, on an image, without necessarily classifying them into rows and column. We also have a data warehouse capabilities in terms of what? Structured schema. Schema has to do with what? When you're talking about data warehouse, we are talking about a kind of structured arrangement of data into what we call rows and column, maybe inside different tables within a database environment, right? So I don't want to go deeper into warehouse because it's one of the we have our 3 or 4 modules on data warehouse as a whole as regard this particular series. Then we'll be coming back into data warehouse later. But what are the capabilities that I'll share with this? It includes schema, structured schema. We have ACID transactions, and we have governance, and business intelligence ready. So these are the things that Lakehouse take advantage of in terms of data warehouse, and also take advantage of in terms of work, in terms of data lake. So data lake is built on OneLake and powered by data lake technology. Now, OneLake is just like an example of in M365, right? We have a technology that we call M365, and that M365 has a storage for all the products within the M365 environment, and we call that one as what OneDrive. Right. The way we have storage capacity for M365 product is the way we also have for uh, fabric environment. In case of fabric environment, we call it OneLake, but in terms of 365, we call it what? We call it a OneDrive. So Lakehouse enables data analytics. We can also do data engineering, and it also allow us to do what? Business intelligence. Business intelligence, and we can perform a lot of data science operation within the same Lakehouse environment. You can see a lot of capability. You can do data analytics, which means if I'm a data analyst, yes, I can make use of a Lakehouse to do my work. If I'm a data engineer, yes, I can make use of Lakehouse to do my work. If I'm a data analyst, maybe I want to produce a dashboard, or I want to produce reports. Yes, I can make use of that environment. If I'm a data scientist, I can build models. Yes, I can use machine learning algorithms to achieve a lot of things just because I have access to a lake house. Now, the next question is, why do we need it? Okay, we understand what is a lake house. We understand the features. We understand the capabilities that it has. Why do we need it? Why do we need a lake house? We need a lake house because of historical experience, and that's why I took us from last module from historical experience of what has happened in the past, why on how different data professionals, they have been in churches, finding out ways to help themselves until we have this technology at the moment. Now, in the past, organizations had to choose between a data lake, which is flexible but unstructured, or a warehouse, which is structured but rigid. Gone are those days that organizations, enterprise level organizations, if they need to, look for a storage space, maybe they want to look for a database, or they are looking for where they can keep their data. So they had two options: is either they want to use data lake, or they want to make use of a warehouse, which we call data warehouse. But they are but they have differences. Data lake is for unstructured. It is flexible with what? Unstructured. Whereby for the warehouse, it is more of structured but rigid. So now Lakehouse has now brought the two of them together in order to bridge the gap. That look, you don't need to go for data lake only, or you go for warehouse only, but you have a product that can do any of the two, or that can do both at the same time, as the case may be, which now bring us into what we call flexibility, scalability, and governance. So now, with the advantage of combining the characteristics of data lake and the characteristics of warehouse, we now have a product that has improved flexibility, scalability, and governance together. So that answers the question, why the lake house? We are solving a problem that has been in existence before now. All right, what are the core features of a lake house in Fabric? It has an advantage of one lake storage backbone. It means that whatever data that we store in the lake house, it is being stored in the one lake storage as a backbone. So the idea is that the way we have OneDrive in Microsoft M365 is also the way we have a storage account, a unified storage account within Fabric environment, which we call OneLake storage platform. Yes, another feature of Lakehouse is that it has capability for working with data technology. which has to do with a data table. When we have data table, we can convert our data set from different sources to package format, which is a technology that is being used for data reduction or data compression. You can have a whole lot. Recently, somebody asked on a platform that I belong to, is a professional platform, that was to transpose about a file size of 200 gigabytes. Now, which technology can be of advantage? He wanted to transpose a CSV file of 20 gigabyte. That is huge, 20 gigabyte. Now, which technology can be of advantage? So the idea was that, okay, instead of working with the entire 20, is there a technology that you can make use of to at least reduce the volume of that data set? Because after that, we still want to transpose 20 a file size of 20 gigabyte, which is a lot. So that's the idea about data table, which help us to save our files in package format, which has the capability of reduction in size. Imagine from 20 gigabyte and it's converting it to maybe less than one gigabyte. That's a lot of volume reduction. So it has capability in terms of Lakehouse. It also works with a lot of other technologies. It works with programming languages such as Apache Spark. It works with query language such as SQL, and also work with analytics or visualization environment such as what? Such as Power BI. Another advantage of Lakehouse is that it has a unified governance and security, which means that you can do a lot of settings. That's what we call user principal. That you can say, okay, if you don't belong to this environment or if you don't belong to this class of people, then you can have access to some items, or you can have access to some environment. So Lakehouse has that capability that, okay, we can restrict access to any area that people do not are not permitted to work with. It also support what? Machine learning and artificial intelligence workload. So we shall see during the demo some of these capabilities. All right. So in terms of architecture, data architecture, Lakehouse has three level of data architecture. It has a storage layer, it has processing layer, and it has consumption layer. The storage layer is where we have the storage being embedded into OneLake that I've mentioned before, which help us to store different files, different tables, different files that we are working with. So just that is just for our storage capability. We also have processing. In terms of processing, we have a data processing layer. We have different platforms that we use for data processing. For instance, now, if you are talking about data ingestion or we are talking about data transformation, we can make use of different technologies such as a notebook. We can make use of a data flow gen 2. We can also make use what? We can also make use of pipeline just to work around uh, data ingestion and data transformation. Another level that Lakehouse has in terms of architecture is that it has what we call consumption layer, because the idea is that, oh, you have ingested the data into the storage. Oh, you have done fantastic processing in terms of maybe data transformation or data cleaning. Then the last thing is that, okay, that work you have done, nobody will appreciate it until it is for human consumption, right? And that is why Lakehouse has that capability in terms of consumption layer, where intended users can, make use of that technology to see what we have done behind the scene, so that it can help us to take decisions as the case may be. So this is connected with a Power BI environment, and this is also connected with a machine learning models and APIs, which make data available for reports, for dashboards, or machine learning, as the case may be. Um, Real world use cases, we have a lot of real world use cases, because from this understanding, somebody can now say, okay, what are the things I can use Lakehouse for? Okay, people have understood what you said about Lakehouse, the meaning of Lakehouse, what it offers, the advantages and the potential for bringing everybody together. Then, what are the real world use cases? We make use of it when we are talking about machine learning um, on large data set. When we have a very large data set that we also refer to as maybe big data, we also have application in areas of Internet of Things and log analytics. We can also make use of it when we need to blend structured and unstructured data together. We also find applications in enterprise reporting with flexibility. So these are some of the use case as scenarios on how we can take advantage of Lakehouse. All right, so I will take us enough of theoretical explanations. I would like to take us through a walkthrough demo for us to appreciate what we're talking about in terms of a lake house. So in the demo, I'll be taking you through exploration of lake house environment in Microsoft Fabric. We'll be looking at how can we create a fabric, how can we create a lake house, how can we come about data ingestion. Data ingestion means what? How we can bring in data from different sources into a lake house. How can we switch between Lakehouse and data warehouse, right? So we also see all this being played out in the course of the demo. So just a minute. Let me switch over to let me switch over to my what do we call it? My browser. Let me switch over to my browser. Just a moment, so that we can be able to do very fantastic demos. All right, so let me share this slide. Sorry, let me share this interface. Um, um, I need to stop this. All right, so I need to stop the sharing and bring the browser and bring the browser on board. Where's my browser from here? Okay, yes, you can see my browser from here. All right, so this is my browser environment. Remember last time in the episode one, when we look at Fabric environment, at before you can have access to Fabric environment, you must have what we call Microsoft account. You must have created your Microsoft account, then you have access to username and password. You have username and password, and from there you can have access to Fabric. I also did mention that Microsoft Fabric is not a in entirety is not a free, it's not a free service, except if at the level of developer. But in terms of core production, it is a subscription based, which come about M365. A lot of organizations are moving their assets into the cloud, Microsoft Cloud, and they are going for M365. So many organizations have M365 subscriptions, have Fabric embedded, which they may not know if they don't know how to make use of it. There was a training I did recently for staff of an insurance firm. Uh, they never know that they have access to Fabric, and the organization is paying for that access for that license every month. So I had to let them know, okay, you have access to it, and this is the best way that you can master this technology for advantage of your company. So now, how do we have access to Fabric environment? We go to the browser. I assuming we have our what? Assuming we have our data set. Assuming we have our data set. So we can have access to that environment. Assuming we have our login details, we can have access to that environment. We can also have access to what we call the online platform by writing this this web address. We have app.fabric.microsoft.com. If I click on enter, it will ask me to sign in, but I will not wait for this. It's already signing in because I've signed in this morning, and that's why it is taking me directly into the Fabric environment. Right. So let me assume last time we created a workspace. Let me create another workspace just now. A workspace is just like your it's just like your folder where you want to work. Let me call it Lake House, Lake 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 House demo. Right. I want to call this as Lake House demo. I click on apply. That is a workspace that I've created. And then the next question is that we want to explore Lakehouse environment, right? So now, how do I have access, or how do you have access to um, Lakehouse environment? You come to item here, you click on this plus, right? When you click on this plus, there are a lot of operations that you can do. If you scroll from top to down, we have get data, we have different operations that we can do in data. And when you scroll down, we have stored data. We have a lot of operations that you can do under stored data. We have data, prepare data, that you want to do data cleaning, transformation, and whatever that has to do with a cleanup. Now, but what we want to do now is that we want to make use of Lakehouse, and this is Lakehouse that we are talking about. Is either I come here to select Lakehouse, or I go to the filter of item, and I write Lakehouse. Immediately I write Lakehouse, I can see things that are related to Lakehouse, and I can just select. So in this case, I'm setting this Lakehouse, and I want to give it a name. Maybe let me give it LH, which is Lakehouse underscore demo. Let me call it underscore demo 2. So that is the name of my lake house. So if I want to make use of default schema, which I will also explain in the course of this demo, I can select it. But if I don't want a schema is about how you arrange your tables, how you arrange your tables, the content of your what of your tables. Maybe you want to define characteristics of each row, maybe data type, maybe the header name, and some other characteristics. So I can click on create, and this one will just create a lake house. Now this is a lake house environment. This is a lake house environment. All right. So now this is a lake house environment, and the next question is that okay, we are here in the lake house environment. What are the things that we can do? The things that you can do are one, you can, lake house we said it can be used for what? For storage, for data storage, which has capabilities of what? Data lake and what? Data warehouse. All right. If you want to bring in data, which is for maybe data storage, I can come to get data. That is, I want to do data ingestion. Now, from data ingestion, I can upload file if I have a file that is on my laptop or that is on flash drive that is inserted into USB of my laptop. I can upload data. I can connect to new data pipeline. I can connect to new data flow gen 2. I can connect to new shortcut. I can connect to new event stream. All these terminologies, we are going to cover all of them, but let us take them one after the other. one after the other. So these are different capabilities. I think we have one, two, three, four, five. To see more, you can just come to this arrow. One, two, three, four, five. If I scroll this, I can see some other capabilities that I can get data from, that I can bring them into Lakehouse for storage. That's number one. Then I can also do what we call semantic. I can build a semantic. Semantic has to do with what? Data modeling. It's about some advanced analytics. I want to do data modeling. That is, I want to model my data in such a way that I reduce redundancy. I want to model my data in such a way that uh, only the data that is, that is good for me to do my analysis is just my concentration, right? I can build semantics. We are not getting there just now, or today we are not getting there. It's a capability that we check later. I can also make use of what? I can also make use of open notebook. Open notebook means what? It's a programming environment. Open notebook is a programming environment where I can use different programming languages. As a data scientist, they leverage on a lot of programming languages, maybe SQL, maybe Python, maybe R, or maybe just any programming language. This is where they can connect the lake house to a what? To a to what? To a notebook, right? So we can also have what we call manage materials lake view. We can also see, the other time I did mention that this lake house has a storage in one lake. I can have a look at it that, okay, do I want to turn on security preview? If yes, I click here. If no, this is where I can make configurations about who can have access to this environment or who cannot have access to this environment. I can also come to update all variables if at all I have anything to do. But the basic operation that I will do just now is I want to bring in data into the lake house. We want to make use of this of environment just to store our data and perform few operations around it, right? So the name of my data is um, the name of my data is Superstore, and I have it on the desktop. I have it on the desktop. Just let me check again. All right, perfect. So I have it on the desktop, and it is a CSV file, comma separated value file. So now the basic operation we can do is to upload what? To upload file. So let us try to upload a file. That file is located at where? It is located on my, not my download. It is located on the desktop, and the name is Superstore. All right, I click on connect, and I click on upload. So it will just upload the data set into the what? Into the Lakehouse environment. Okay, this operation has been performed. I can just close this dialog box, which means that what? Uh, I have, okay, it's also important that I mention this under the Lakehouse environment. We have two things that we can do. We can work with tables, and we can work with what? We can work with files. We can work with tables. It can work with what? It can work with files. Now, if I click on files, I can see that I've just uploaded a file which is at 10:25 a.m. Right now, if I want to keep my files into different folders, for instance, now I have a folder for all transactions that happen in a year. I have another folder for another transaction that happen in a year. I can create so many, we call them subfolders. We can create so many subfolders. For instance, I can come here and say, okay, uh, new subfolder. I want to call it what? 2021, right? Maybe I'm looking at transaction at 2021. I click on create. So you can see that create has not become a what? A subfolder. If I come here, I can also have subfolder inside. For instance, now maybe I want to bring another data into this environment. I can just come back here and say, okay, I want to upload file or whatever I want to do. Maybe I want to create another subfolder for 3 different years. I want to create folder for 2022, right? And I want to create another folder for 2023, subfolder 2023, and click on create. So this is what we refer to as partitions, that I have different folder that is addressing different issues. So I have files within the Lakehouse environment, and I have what we call tables. I have tables. So what we have in the tables, we have what we call data. We have data table. We have data table. All right. For instance, now, from what I have here, I can say, okay, maybe this one that I have, I want to load this into table, right? As at now, I have it as just ordinary file. I have it as just ordinary file. Maybe I'm interested to load this into the table, which will make it to now come under this table. All right. So by that time, it will have done the compression that I mentioned the other time, which is what? Packet. It will convert my file from CSV format to packet, which is for data compression. You can imagine the size of this data is 2 megabytes. By the time it is converted to a table, and it is asking me, okay, do I have a schema that I want to use? I want to use default schema, which is DBO. What is the file name? What is the table name? This is the table name. How is my data set separated? It is separated by comma, right? So if I click, now it's asking me, do you have a column header for each of the rows? Yes, I have column header. This is why it is ticked. If you don't have, you just uncheck this. But in my case, I have. Then I click on load. It will now load. It's now loading the data into the table. Oh, complaints failed to load to that table. What happened? Let us check the error message. Okay, there is an error, and why we have the error is because it doesn't follow the format of bringing in data. For instance, now, header should not have any space. Header should not have what? Any space. But in the table that I'm bringing on board, we have headers that are having what? Space in between. And that is why this one has not worked. So this one was intentionally done just for us to see that there are rules that govern how we work with what? How we work with Lakehouse. Rule number one is that your headers should not have what? Should not have space in between. Let me now bring another data in. In that regard, I'll bring the data into maybe let me just open this let me open 2021 and bring in the data there. So this one, I will make sure that it is not having space in between the headers. You will see that that will now be able to be converted to table. Just a moment. Let me quickly check that file. Um, so the error that we encounter now is we are not following the format of working with what? Of working with. So now I have another one. I call it superstore underscore 2, which I want to bring in. This one follow the format of working with what? With headers in Lakehouse. So I click on get data. I click on upload file. From where is that file located? Is on the desktop, and the file name is what? workloads too. So I click on open, and from open, it will just I click on upload, and it will be uploaded. It will be uploaded. Um, 1 megabyte has been uploaded. Going to second megabyte. So what we are doing now, we have looked at exploration of lakehouse environment. We have seen how we can create a lakehouse. What we are doing now is how we can do data ingestion, how we can bring data into a lakehouse. So after that, we also look at how we can do some operations around that. So now data has been uploaded here. So let us now take it to where we want to take the data into a table, right? Which I've explained earlier. So you will see that this one will work because it follows the format of writing the column headers, the column headers. So as at now it is loading, and once it is loaded, it will just come up under what? Under tables. You can see now, just see that that data set has been uploaded. The one that I just uploaded now, because it followed the format, it has uploaded. So we can check the header. If I click here, we can see the different headers. Can you see now? Instead of having row space ID, I'm now having rows underscore ID, just to ensure that I don't have space in between my what? In between my column header, because if that happens, it will not load into data table. So we call this one data table, right? So as at now, I have uploaded two data sets, and that one is the two of them are stored inside what? Inside file, one inside subfolder, which is a year 2021, and I've brought it. So if I want to see the content of that file, I just which is now a table. All right. So now I did mention that um the data table help us to compress the volume on the size of our data set. You can see that the one that I imported is 2 megabytes. If I come here to see the one that it has been converted to, let us check. Let us view it. Let us view the size. You can imagine that it has been converted to a data table, which now makes it a Parquet file. See Parquet, and the compression is what? Its compression is 444. You can imagine 2 megabytes, which is a 2000 kilobyte, has been converted to what? 444 kilobytes, which is 0.44 megabytes. You can see the percentage of reduction, almost 75% reduction in size. You can now imagine if you have a file size of 10 gigabytes, that is now reducing to something so much a minimum. All right, that is fine. We can also see the content of this. Now we have checked for what? We have filled the data, we have filled the file. We can check for the properties. We can check for the properties. So the properties of this data set is what? We have the name of the data set, we have the schema, which is this, we have the data. So I was talking about the storage format, which is data, which enhances file compression. We have what we call the type of the table. We have two types of the table. We have managed, we have external. This is the URL. In case you want to connect to this data set, you can make use of this URL and some other stuff that we'll get to know later, right? So in the course of this demo, we have been able to see how we can import our data set into what? Into Fabric environment. Now, I also mentioned that in our demo, we want to see, we said Lakehouse has capability of working with what? Data lake, which is for storage, working with what? Warehouse. From this environment, if you come to this top here, you can see that we have Lakehouse. We can switch to what we call SQL analytics endpoint. By the time you are on Lakehouse by default, it is being used to store data and file, to work with data files and folders that we imported we created some folders the other time. We also imported files. We make use of Lakehouse. Then we can convert this Lakehouse to a SQL analytics endpoint, which can help us to do data query in what? In fabric environment. Sorry, in a warehouse environment, data warehouse environment, which make it to share the capabilities of what? A data lake, which is for data files and folders, and what? Data warehouse, where we can query data using the SQL environment. Let us experience how that look like. If I click on this, it will change the interface from Lakehouse to a warehouse. So let us try it and see how that environment looks like. So it is transitioning. So I don't want to go deeper into Lakehouse because we have our 3 or 4 uh, episodes on Lakehouse itself. All right, so this is the Lakehouse environment. Just to interchange from the storage to a Lakehouse into a what? Analysis environment. And this is where we can see, okay, we have we have a schema which is a DBO by default. And inside that we have a table which is known as what? Which is superstore we have. So it means that from here, we can start our analytics from here. Just because we have imported our data, we have converted it into a warehouse environment where we can do analytics. So we are not going to that place today. We are just seeing how that can play out. Uh, when we are taking full warehouse, we will see how best we can explore that environment. So um, this is what we'll be looking at today. I did mention that from this environment, we can link into a what? A visualization environment. How can we get to visualize? How can we get to visualization environment? We can get to visualization environment if we go back to our lake house. So this is our lake house, which we have done what? We have created an item which is what? Demo. So if I want to check uh if I have anything that I can work with in terms of visualization, I can come here, I can say, okay, maybe I want to visualize this um in what? In VS Code, or I want to have some settings. No, we are talking, I did mention about security and governance the other time. That okay, I have some configurations I want to do with my lake house. I can come here and do configuration settings. If I want to link it up with my my other data environment, maybe I want to open it in a SQL Server Management Studio, which is on premises. I can also do that. If I want to copy the link, maybe I just want to copy the link of what I have in the lake house to what I can work with later. I can do that from this environment. I can set up permissions. I can view the details of what I have. I can, check lineage, how data is moving from one place to another. If I want to do some other things, I can, look at that. So this is why we are stopping today. By next time when we are meeting, we'll be building on this fundamental of what is a lake house and then what are the things that you can do. So this is um, what I just copied. For instance, now this link is being useful for me if I need to connect to this data through my on-premises SQL Server Management Studio or through my VS Code. I can just copy this and go and insert it into those environments, and I'll be good to go. I'll be good to go. So this is how far we can go today. Like I mentioned, if you need to set up permissions, if you need to share and some other things what to do, we can do that from here. Let me take you back to my slide and have a conclusion about this today. Just a moment. Um, let me switch over to um, let me stop this sharing and move to the slide. All right. All right. So in the course of this demo, we were able to look at what exploration of data environment in Microsoft Fabric. We have seen how we can create a lake house. Also see how we can ingest data. Ingest data means what? To bring data in, to upload data into a lake house. We'll be doing some advanced uploading later in the course of this training. We have also seen how we can switch between a lake house and a data warehouse environment. So, and recap. So, in this session, we have been able to discuss the following. We have been able to discuss about what is a lake house, why do we need a lake house, what are the core features of lake house in Fabric, the lake house architecture in Fabric, and also real world use cases with demo that I was able to do. So, if there are questions, yes, I'm available. You can drop your questions on the chat. I will surely respond to your questions. I want to thank you for being part of this episode today. For contact, yes, you can reach out to me if there's anything that is not clear to you in the course of this training, or if there are things that we can collaborate together to work with. You can reach out to me from all these platforms. From all these platforms. So I'm still expecting questions. If there are any, I'm still waiting for questions. You can see the trolling message recorded section that you can have access to after today. You can have access to it at your leisure time. You can have access to it at your leisure time. All right. In the absence of no questions, I want to thank you so much for being part of this training. Very soon we'll be having another episode, and I want to strongly believe that you have gained a lot of insight from this technology that I've shared with you. By next time, we'll be adding to this so that we can enrich our knowledge, we can be able to solve problems and help humanity. And the next time when I come on your way again, thank you so much, and do to share. Help me to share this channel with your colleagues so that they can also benefit from what I have to share with everyone. So, thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.